I'm Robin Eissler. I'm the founder of BoosterHub. So we help manage over 600 booster clubs in the United States. We have 100,000 users on our platform. And we do everything from managing communications to fundraising to running concessions, helping build websites, making t-shirts, all kinds of crazy stuff. And I know some of you are already on the platform, some people aren't. So just an introduction there. And I like to do these webinars to give everyone some of the information that we find talking to hundreds of booster volunteers every week and share that information with you. I know running a booster club can be a lonely space and you don't always have peer groups to get feedback or get ideas from. So we'll dive in here today. I love to have our webinars as an opportunity to collaborate with other boosters. We usually do that in the chat. Today, we're going to do that in a live format, or you're welcome to do it in the chat as well. So if you just want to type in a question, don't want to be live, I get that. I understand. Just go ahead and put it in the chat and I'll try to monitor that as we go. At the end, we'll open it up for any sort of questions or discussions. So I really wanted to do something a little bit different and put together our favorite things that we've seen in 2025 and really say these are the best tools to get you ready for 2026. And it was funny because as I did that, uh, about 70% of the tools are BoosterHub tools. And I thought, oh my gosh, I feel a little misleading that I'm doing a commercial for BoosterHub, but then I realized our goal has been to build the best tools for booster clubs. So I think you'll see a lot of BoosterHub tools in here. That's not by coincidence. It's that we really feel like we've brought some of the best tools for boosters into the space. So we're going to look at some booster training tools, how to rally volunteers, multi-channel communications, website builder, manual fundraising, automated fundraising. I think those are two different things. So I like to highlight the difference between those. Talk about spiritware, event management, some new financial and accounting tools that are coming, and some of our AI virtual volunteers. If you haven't used AI at all for your booster club, you really should, whether that's through Champ on the BoosterHub platform or using ChatGPT or something. It's just great for writing things and getting communications out. And I find that the AI tools, they do all the things you should do. They tell the story, they get the call to action. We'll dive into that as we get to there. So we'll go ahead and get started. And by the way, we do have a free gift at the end. So if you stick around at the end, we've got a link for you to get a free gift from our team here at BoosterHub. We'll dive into booster training. If you haven't had the opportunity to read Sandy Foe England's School Fundraising, So Much More Than Cookie Dough, it's a fantastic book that takes about an hour to read it from start to finish. And it really covers all the legal and financial specific details of a booster club that you should be following. And so I remember when I read it for the first time, it shocked me. Some things that I didn't know we needed to do at that particular time. Sales tax was a big thing. I didn't realize we needed to be collecting sales tax on some items. So it's a great tool if you've just jumped into the space or you've been doing it for a while and you want to make sure you're meeting all the dotting your I's and crossing your T's. School Fundraising, So Much More Than Cookie Dough is a great resource. You can buy that book on Amazon. I have a link to it at the end. And Sandy Foe England is the founder of Parent Booster USA. So they are a great organization. If you want your 501c3 managed, they will help you set it up and then file your tax returns. A great resource for doing that. But I definitely recommend the book. I think there's a Kindle version as well, but it's just a great resource and it'll bring it to me. It tells you the things that you don't know. It does a good job of that. One of the other resources, we've spent a lot of time this year building the BoosterHub Academy. That's on our website at boosterhub.com. So there's a ton of resources, everything from the legal side to operations. How can you get more volunteers? How can you optimize those fundraisers? What can you be doing on your budgeting and your accounting and finance reports and things like that? So it's a great resource. If you haven't had a chance to go there, it's recently updated in the last 45 days, give you a lot of tools. Anytime you've got a question, I'd usually start there and we've got some good answers for you. And then also as part of the Parent Booster USA website, they have a great tool called Booster Boss. And it's a training course that you can ask your members to go through. It's free and it does it by state. So you can go to your state. And then if your state has specific rules from your association or regarding fundraising or sales tax or something, you'll find that in the Booster Boss course. So it's a great resource for boosters. And I kind of like to say if you're going to be a Booster Club officer, you really should know about these three things and you really should be using them as resources. So we'll jump on to the next one. I'm going to try to keep the list here at 30 minutes and then we'll have 30 minutes for discussion. But so we looked at some of the best ways to rally volunteers this year. And if I would have done this list a year ago, I would have said, oh, it's probably a volunteer sign up or coordinator or something. But what we found is rallying volunteers, it's a little more personal. It takes a little more personal touch. So when I was thinking about making like the list of the best booster tools, I came up with these ideas that we've seen used and they work pretty well. First of all, hybrid meetings are really helpful. Our booster clubs that are doing both in person and online are really finding attendance at their booster club meetings has grown substantially. And so you could go all online, but that loses that personal touch that I think is really important sometimes in a booster club. So really hybrid meetings are one of our number one ways this year to rally volunteers and get more people to participate in the booster club. One of the next really great ideas I've seen this year are booster t-shirts. So it's hard when you're head down and you're running the booster club and you think everybody knows who everybody is and you know everybody because you've been there a while. But when you're a freshman parent and you're coming in and you meet this group of 200 people, you remember that guy's on the booster club, but you're not sure. And then if you've got committees, it can be hard in those groups. I literally sat next to a mom for 6 years and didn't know her name. I knew she was Lauren's mom, but I didn't know Lauren's mom's name. And so I think it's really helpful. People are more apt to reach out if you identify yourself and then also got name tags on there as well. So we've seen a lot of boosters going to making a shirt that boosters wear at events. I saw one booster club that did hats. So all the booster volunteers had hats on and could be easily identifiable. And then a lot of boosters are now wearing name tags. And I think it's just a way to be welcoming and inviting. One of the biggest problems we see with volunteering is that people feel like there's a group and they're a little intimidated to come into that group or break into that group. And I think these things really say, hey, we're open and inviting and we'd love for you to come up and talk to us. And then the last thing we've really seen a trend with is thanking the volunteers. And I just put one example here. We have a band who they create a custom pin every year and they give it to the volunteers who have volunteered more than 2 or 3 times, whatever their criteria is. And it becomes a badge of honor to get your pin for the year. And people get really excited about it and they change the design every year. So something that just a little tiny thing, I think it costs them $1 to make the pins to really thank those volunteers for their time and their participation. Just some ways that you can rally volunteers. I kind of wanted to go off the tool here and talk about the more human ways that we've seen have been successful this year to rally volunteers. And now we're going to talk about communication because what would a booster club be without communication? So I really think the whole purpose of a booster club is to communicate. That's your job. Your job is to tell the story of the booster club. And if you do that well, you're going to have volunteers, you're going to have money, you're going to have everything you need. I'm a real big communication fan. And this year, when looking at the top list of our favorite things, I couldn't find one tool. So I think my favorite thing on the list this year is a tool that allows you to do multi-channel communication. You can have the Band app or you can have Remind that sends text messages. But the problem is if they're not on the app, they don't get the notification and they can opt out of the SMS. And then your sponsors or people who may not be on your Remind list, you've got to have an email tool to get to them. So I think if you go in one direction on the communication, you run the chance of losing some audiences. So really my best tool for 2026 is a multi-channel communication tool. So that means you can send emails from it, you can send texts from it, and you can send in-app communications from it. Because sometimes, you need more than a 2-line text notification. You need a paragraph to tell a story about what's going on. We have this capability in BoosterHub. It's really awesome because you can take one mailing list. It's my varsity parents or senior parents, and you can send them an email, send them a text, or send them an in-app notification. And I think that's really the way to go with a booster club, because there's some nuances in the communication and what should be sent to who. And I think having multi-channels gives you the ability to do that. That's really our best communication tool for 2026. A lot of booster clubs are going to social media or have just social media pages for their booster clubs, or they're using a fundraising page somewhere. And I think a booster club needs a home. It needs a place where it resides. Booster club is an intangible thing in some ways. You can't see it, you can't touch it. So I think a website is crucial to have for a booster club. And it needs to be something that you can set up quickly and easily, that's integrated with your other tools like your calendar and some of your fundraising stuff. It should have automatic updates, and it should be at a permanent location, yourboosterclubname.org. And I think that really helps you do a lot of things. It provides a place to highlight sponsors. It provides a place that people always know that they can go to find you. If you start using third-party fundraising links, when your fundraiser ends, people go there and there's nothing there. And you've spent all this time and energy to get people to that site, and now they have no way to interact with you or participate with you. So I love an easy website builder. And again, this will fall back on BoosterHub a little bit. We've got a great tool that allows you to build a website in just a few minutes and then quickly and easily update your store so you can sell sponsorships or your fees or meal packages or anything like that. So your website really is your face to the community and the world, and you want a tool that makes it easy. We see a lot of times on websites, people get crazy and add all this stuff to it, and then the person who knew how to do the website leaves, and then the website's outdated and it doesn't have current information. So I think having a tool that makes it quick and easy, that keeps it updated and sticks in one place, is a really good idea. For those of you that are on BoosterHub, we do have our Webmaster 2.0 coming out in January. We're really excited about it. It's going to give you some new designs. It's going to offer you the ability to have volunteer pages, event pages, a lot of new kind of pages. So we're excited about that. It's going to really fall into the quick and easy setup and automatic updates. We're really going with that theme this year to try to take the workload off the booster clubs. So that's my recommendation. Definitely have a website and use a quick and easy website builder. Let's talk about manual fundraising. So a lot of people think, oh, I'm selling something, it's fundraising. So I wanted to break fundraising down into two different types. So manual fundraising is where you go out and make a link to something, or have a car wash or something like that. And some of the ones that I've seen this year that have been really good is one of the bands made a tip the band sign, and they take it to all their events and they walk around with it while the band's playing. A parent's got a tip the band sign, pushing the crowd for donations to the band. And I love that idea. And they used a QR code back to their website to get that. That came from Grapevine Band here in Texas. So I love the idea. They actually did a big concert. They were invited to open for Post Malone at a concert. And they were trying to figure out, oh my gosh, we have this great opportunity to raise money for the band, but we don't know how to do it. And so that's where they came up with the idea. And now they're using it all the time. We have another band that went in and made a product in their BoosterHub store that was a competition snack fund, or buy fruit for the team. They raised $920 in 24 hours. So they expected to raise $100. They thought, oh, well, we'll just put this product in the store and we'll send out an announcement in an email just to let people know that we want to raise a little money to buy some fruit for the kids tomorrow. And they woke up and there was $900 in the account. So I think that's an awesome thing. I think it really speaks to having a purpose and a specific story you're trying to tell, and who wouldn't donate to get food for the kids. Like, I think it's a great way to do it. So you want to have ways to raise money quickly. That definitely means have an online presence, have a way to make QR codes so that when you're doing in-person events, you can drive people back to those online tools that can collect fundraising for you. And you want to make sure you're looking for something that doesn't have any platform fees. You'll probably pay transaction fees, or you can have a platform that does the tipping. I'm not a big fan of the tipping, but if that's, a lot of people like to do it because the platforms are free, but the tipping actually costs more than the actual fees. So that's up to you. But you want to look for something that's not charging you every time you sell something, other than your just standard credit card processing fees. And now let's talk about automated fundraising. If you are not using an automated fundraising tool, you need to be using an automated fundraising tool. And what is an automated fundraising tool? So these are what we call our peer-to-peer rallies, where you set up a fundraiser and then you invite all your students, and then your students invite 20 or so of their family and friends. And what really makes these fundraisers so powerful is two things. One is that you're getting your entire booster club to go out and make the ask, donate to the band, donate on behalf of this student. And that's really powerful. It's the most powerful thing in nonprofit work and fundraising is telling the story and making the ask. And so when you can get your students to go out there and make that ask, it's just super powerful. On these automated platforms, there's two different types. So one, you'll set up a page, you'll invite all your students, and they'll all set up a page. And I consider those static fundraisers, and they work fine. The issue with those is you're going to have to do the work. You're going to have to share those. You're going to have to get everybody invited. You're going to have to send lots of emails. And that process can be time consuming. And let's be honest, we don't have a ton of extra time in the booster world. So the automated fundraisers, what they do is they go out and rally those donors on your behalf. So they're going to be sending emails and sending texts and doing that type of thing. And these fundraisers, just in general, are much more powerful than any other type of fundraiser. So we have booster clubs that routinely raise between $40,000 and $60,000 on our Booster Bucks platform within 2 weeks. And these are groups of students from about 40 to 80 students. So just some perspective on the size of the group. Typically, we see these range around $300 per student. And depending on the size of the organization, they may raise a little more, a little less. And on these automated fundraising platforms, there's going to be a platform fee. And some of those are as high as 25%. At Booster Bucks, ours is 5%. And some of those programs are going to keep your money for 90 days and you're going to get a check 2 or 3 months from now. With Booster Bucks, we deposit it the next day. So I really love these fundraisers in general because they're not time consuming. They raise a lot of money and they help get all those friends and family who want to support the student involved, and you don't have to do the work. So literally, if you set up a Booster Bucks rally, it takes 5 minutes. Then you'll probably want to do an in-person kickoff with your students, and that takes about 30 minutes. And then you'll be off and going. And so you definitely be using some sort of automated platform for your fundraising. I recommend Booster Bucks. I think it's the most cost effective out there and it's integrated with the BoosterHub platform. So it's really easy to use. But I would definitely recommend this if you're not using them. And if you're using a different one, then definitely come over and take a look at Booster Bucks. Okay, let's talk about spiritware. I love spiritware, but I was in a program that had a whole closet full of unsold spiritware. And I used to look at our budget and wonder how much that was costing us. So these things that we had bought intending to sell, we'd sold about 30 or 40% of them and ended up losing money on our spiritware. So when we built BoosterHub merch, we decided to build spiritware so there's no way you can lose money on it. It's definitely going to be profitable. We're going to make it easy on you. And so I really think BoosterHub merch it might be my favorite tool of 2025. Super excited for it in 2026. So in our BoosterHub platform, you can go in and create a t-shirt, and then you click on the t-shirt and put it in your store on your website. So literally takes about 1 to 2 minutes to set up a shirt and put it in your store. And then when the user goes in and buys the t-shirt, it goes directly to the purchaser. It ships directly to them. So you as the Booster Club volunteer never touch the shirt, and you can offer multiple designs. You can sell one item and you're profitable. Whereas if you order a whole bunch of spiritware and it comes in and you don't sell it, you're going to lose money. You don't have to get involved in the shipping. If there's any problems with the product or anything like that, we handle all that and it goes back to the vendor. Really great on customer service. And then we also have some bulk options. So if you are doing a show shirt or a playoff shirt and you do need to order 100 shirts at a time, we've got really great pricing. We went in and leveraged the buying power of our 100,000 users and got really great wholesale pricing on BoosterHub merch. So this one's where I'm going to not be shy and really wave that BoosterHub flag. But BoosterHub merch is an awesome tool And we've created a new plan in BoosterHub 1 that allows you to have access to BoosterHub merch without having a full subscription to BoosterHub. So if it's something you want to try out, you can do that on our one plan. If This is called print on demand spiritware, and definitely recommend it. It should be the tool that everybody's using. And if you do have a kickoff event at the beginning of the season and you do want a little bit of spiritware on hand, it is cost effective enough that you can order 5 shirts or 10 shirts or something like that. And you're not having to put that big investment in. Because most of the time when you order spiritware, you need to order 25 or 50 for the cost to start being where it makes sense. And that's the great part about this. You're getting those price breaks at a quantity of one. And it's a super tool. Awesome. We love it. And our clubs are loving it. So definitely recommend that. Oh, now we're going to get even more excited. So we're going to talk about event management. If you're running a booster club, you're likely doing some events, some banquets or competitions or tournaments or things like that. My favorite tool for that is to use QR tickets. That way you can sell a ticket and you can scan those tickets at the door and make sure that everyone has bought a ticket that's joining the event. And this year, my favorite thing that I saw people doing with our QR tickets is they were making pre-ordered meals. So if you're having a tournament or competition and you've got students on site all day, or you've got meals to be ordered, or even if it's just Friday night football concessions and you want to sell meals ahead of time, you can use the QR ticket for the users to buy the meal ahead of time, and then they can just scan the ticket when they pick the item up. And so this has done a couple things. One, it's allowed the programs to know how much food they need ahead of time. So that's been great. And then it's allowed them to have them pre-made so that people can just come by and scan their ticket and their lines are shorter at their concession stands. It's been a really cool way to expedite that concession experience and then also have less waste, food waste, if you let people know you're buying this ahead of time. So that was just one example I saw this year of people using our QR coded tickets for more than just entry to the event, but for things like the pre-ordered meals. So definitely a cool way to use it if you've got anything in your booster club that could utilize that. The tickets are a great way to do that. We also had a club use it they do a big flower sale, and people would come up and have this flower and this flower, and they were having trouble keeping track of which ones they had. And so they turned their product into a ticket, and then they could scan for each flower that they bought. So they had much better tracking on their inventory. So it's a great way. As a booster club, you get asked to do all these things that are actually sophisticated business processes, but you're just a volunteer out there with a spreadsheet. And BoosterHub, our ticket tool, really gives you some cool ways to manage some of those things, make sure you've got fulfillment under control, and then help make things more efficient. And I've got a couple more things here on the favorite list, and then we're going to open it up for discussion. We'll do that here in just a moment. Thank you to everyone for joining. We've got a few more people on. All right, financial tools. If your booster club is doing more than $10,000 a year, which at this stage most booster clubs are, and usually if you're on one of our webinars, you probably need to be using an accounting tool that's more sophisticated than a spreadsheet. There's just a lot that goes into that, a lot of transactions. So my favorite financial tools, BoosterHub has a full accounting module where anything that you sell in your store or any donations that you receive go directly in and post in your accounting and populate your reports, everything from your budget to your end of the year reporting. So definitely look for something like that. There are some other tools out there that you can use for accounting, and I think that those are really great ways. They're also great ways to prevent fraud. So if you've got a spreadsheet can be manipulated pretty easily by anybody, but if you've got automated accounting tools, you start to close that window where fraud can happen. So definitely recommend that. I'm really excited this year. We're launching at BoosterHub debit cards. These are prepaid debit cards. And this really is an awesome way to track your expenses. So one of the problems we faced in booster clubs is you end up using checks or some sort of antiquated bill pay, and it's really hard work on the treasurer to keep track of everything. And we've got a partnership with our payment tool to offer these debit cards coming out in January, and it gives you full tracking on all the expenses. So if you need to issue a debit card to a volunteer and put $200 on it because they're going to buy meals at an event or decorations, you can do that with the BoosterHub debit cards. And then the really cool part is all of those transactions are recorded in BoosterHub. So we can see what they're spending. And then as the treasurer goes through, they can just approve or reconcile those transactions. And so again, it does a couple things. One, it takes away some of the data entry work. It takes away some of the opportunity for fraud because there's less cash moving around and checks that don't get deposited and things like that. So we're super excited about that tool coming out in January of this year, and something that you may want to look into. We've got about 15 clubs on a beta program right now. They've been loving it, but really a way to help manage your expenses in your booster club. And then the other thing to make sure that you have on your financial tools, and we have this in BoosterHub accounting, is you've got multi-user visibility. If you're using QuickBooks or something like that, typically your treasurer is the one with the login and no one else has the login. I heard of a club this year where the treasurer left under bad terms and the treasurer took the QuickBooks login with him and wouldn't give it to anyone else. So now this booster club, all of their financial tools were locked up and they couldn't get into them. And the treasurer had been paying for QuickBooks on her card. So there was no way for anyone to get into the account. So one of the things we do at BoosterHub is you have the ability to give read-only permissions to multiple people into your accounting tool. And that helps create checks and balances to make sure that everything that you think is happening and that you've got multiple people in there able to look at the accounts. So definitely recommend a tool where you can do that. You can do it in some of the accounting softwares. You can add additional users. So if you do have one where you just have one person who has the login, or even just two, I'd recommend having multiple people on your board having visibility to the actual accounting, bank statements, and reconciling process. All right, and my number one favorite for 2025 and moving into 2026 are AI tools. We call these virtual volunteers, and we've used them in 2025. If you're on BoosterHub, you know that you can click on Champ anywhere you're writing anything, and Champ is an excellent volunteer. She knows how to rally volunteers. She knows how to fundraise. She knows how to get people to buy things. So Champ in BoosterHub is phenomenal. You click on her anywhere you want to write something and she'll give you a suggestion, and then you can accept her suggestion or edit it into your emails and texts and your website. And we love it. We've got a lot of people using it. If you're not on BoosterHub and you're not using any AI, I'm a big fan of Claude. Claude is a great tool. It's a great writer. You really can't write as well as a lot of these AI tools can. And so as a booster club officer, you can really cut down your time if you use these tools effectively. So I'm partial to Champ. She's our virtual volunteer. But if you're not on BoosterHub, definitely be using something like Claude or ChatGPT to help you rally your volunteers and send your communications. In BoosterHub, Champ also sends reminders. So if you don't have enough volunteers to fill slots, Champ will send out a reminder. And she does messaging. And then in 2026, Champ's also going to help you promote tools and promote spiritware and promote things in your store. So we're going to have an auto promotion tool where you can turn on Champ. And for instance, if it's sponsorship season and you're selling sponsorships, Champ will create the communications and send them out for you to promote sponsorships to your vendors and things like that. So we're really excited to move Champ even further. And then in late 2026, Champ's also going to help with accounting. So we're really excited about that. So lean into these AI tools. And if you're on BoosterHub, definitely use Champ. She's your friend for sure. That's my top list of favorite things for 2025 and moving into 2026.